Good evening, MetaFam. I'm back with another video, man, with some couple of new updates today. But I want to start this video off by telling the SEC to piss off with this disclaimer. Okay. Number one, I'm not a financial advisor. Number two, I have zero expectations of any of my followers buying anything on my behalf or because of anything I said. So with that said, I'll start off the day with this SEC. Read this article today about their lawsuit against these YouTubers, right? So it says in there that while every Twitter guy had the disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, they had the intention of their followers to follow them. Get the fuck out of here. How do you know what they thought the followers were going to do? It is the most ridiculous fucking statement I've ever seen. And the fact that they even came out with it public is hilarious. They've got to have lawyers out the ass and they just make shit up. They just make shit up. Let's pretend we knew what these Twitter people were thinking when they wrote something. When they put the disclaimer, let's pretend we knew that they didn't really mean it. Give me a break, dude. This is fucking insanity. MMTLP, let's all register your shares. I have shares in two different accounts. So what I did was I registered twice. I registered my name with my shares in A brokerage, and then registered again with my shares that I had in B brokerage. So if you have shares in multiple accounts, go ahead and list it multiple times, multiple registrations. It's easier because the sheet doesn't really have a spot for two brokerages, and I didn't want to break it down with slashes and whatnot. So I just put account A, shares, broker, account B, shares, broker. Couple of more updates today. My friend in DC decided today that he was going to register a complaint with the DTCC. Okay? So he calls the DTCC. He gets some crazy message or something. So he ends up going online, filling out the complaint form. Within minutes, he receives an email with today's date, a complaint file number, okay? Goes about his business, not thinking he's going to hear anything about it immediately. Within 5 minutes, the DTCC calls him. DTC calls him, and he speaks to I don't remember if it was a woman or a man. I don't remember what he told me. But he speaks to somebody from DTCC. They tell him they need to speak with their supervisor. They go speak to their supervisor, come back to the phone, and tell him that they only can deal with his brokerage. So they immediately cancel his complaint right there, and that's the end of it. So I think at this point, seeing if I'm going to call Fidelity Monday morning and see if I could lobby Fidelity to file the complaint in my name. I don't know if they're required to do that or not, but I'm going to call and find out for sure. Whatever we can do to help this process along. A couple other things. George tweets he's back in DC with nothing else. Nothing. What does that tell me? I'm going to have to go out on a limb here and say he's not here for a fucking nanotech conference. I think this is going somewhere, probably lawyers, possibly behind closed doors. Negotiations are going on right now. Rumor has it, couple of rumors today. Terry posted a video of somebody's account that showed price at $1,000. There is, and I think that's the guy, the brokerage was Schwab. So that showed that his order was pending, which is interesting. Couple other rumors. Houston Wade brought up today that apparently there's a rumor that the gray markets are reaching out to some of these big whales to try to get those sold first. I would imagine that that's probably where they'd start, depending on how far over they are on this thing. But if it's as far as we think they are, I don't think it's gonna matter. They're gonna have to make the phone call. I think this thing gets cleared up in a couple of weeks. I don't think they want it going public, any more public than it already is. I definitely don't think they want discovery on this thing. Could you imagine if these crooks at the DTCC are emailing back and forth about this shit? It will all come out in the wash. We know we have at least Rose's lawsuit going. We know we have John Berta in contact with Wes Christian. These are all positive things going on. Big time positive things going on. I think that, let's just say, we get this thing to work out in our favor. Every other meme stock is going to fall in line and start doing this shit. They're going to say, we're going private. You want to catch these fucking criminals? Let's figure out a way to get them at their own game. We're not going to change it. Ginsler's been on 100 times saying it's not a level playing field. Well, dude, you could do stuff. You could put in regulations, and I understand that there's a process for that, but you could work on that process. We haven't seen any of that. It's all horseshit, man. The fact of the matter is, as the great Jack Nicholson said, you can't handle the truth. And these people can't handle the truth. They're robbing Americans, and they're allowing it. It comes from the top down. There is no frickin' in the middle. Nobody's sitting here fighting for the small guy. Look at this frickin' nonsense with this SEC lawsuit today. Absolute horseshit. Horseshit. And the fact that they turn the media around on retail is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. These criminals, okay, have to be stopped. How do we do it? We keep doing what we're doing. We bring it to light. We got the short killer, Ham the short killer. That guy, I heard an interview. I was watching William P. Farron yesterday. He played the interview. That guy's a freaking genius, man. You want to listen to somebody? Go listen to Ham the short killer. That guy is fighting. They're going to find a way to make these guys pay the piper. And that's what I've said from the get-go. Somebody's got to make these guys pay the piper, and it damn sure isn't going to be the government. So put your collective minds together here, and that's what I see happening with these CEOs coming together and figuring it out. Ham the short killer brought up a good point. AMC had the same problem. What happened? CEO. Lots of people turned their back on AMC because they felt like the CEO turned their back on the investors. Lou left the scene. Most of the YouTubers left the scene after the one of the frickin' 3 offerings he did. Just absolutely ridiculous these days. I think that there's a community of people who are now, and I'm talking CEOs. I think really now, guys, there is a community of CEOs who are going to fight back against these pigs. We're not going to take it anymore, and neither are these CEOs. They are shorting companies into oblivion. If you just short a company to death to where they can't raise any money, what the hell's the point of going on the freaking stock exchange then? The whole point of the stock exchange is to raise money, to build capital, to grow your business. That's not what's going on anymore. What happened? What happened to this crap, man? What happened to the American financial system being the backbone? We just allowed these criminals to freaking take... And the worst part is, once the computers took over, I doubt half these guys know what the fuck they're doing anyway. They all got their Harvard books, and their daddies were friggin', stock traders too back in the day, whatever the case might be. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're putting in algorithms for the computers to do it. Perfect example today, MMAT trades 13 million shares-ish for the day. All of a sudden at 4 o'clock, 10 million fucking shares are traded and the price moves 3%. This is not the first time we've seen this on this stock either. I've seen it with 6 million shares at 410. It's complete and utter bullshit. Make them buy the shares back on the fucking live market. This is absolute insanity. They just do this again and again and again and again and again to drive these stocks down to where they have to split. Then they drive them down again. And it's the same freaking companies giving them money that are freaking shorting them right back. It's like, oh, yeah, we'll support you. Here's a couple $100 million. Go ahead. Bam, shoot it right down. Why? Because, again, cost of doing business, baby. The fact remains here that the government is not going to help us. We have to break them at their own game. This happened with GME. All of a sudden, somebody looks at the numbers and goes, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. How about we just don't sell? We buy and hold, and eventually they're going to have to frickin' cover. Exactly what happened. Then what happens? Now we know they're moving shit offshore. They're doing convertible debt swaps. Now we know the banking system's failing. They're doing overnight reverse repos daily, and that number just freaking continues to go through the roof. This is getting insane. I'm not saying that you can't, go out there and make money on the market, because you can, and I have. With that said, the old way of investing, of putting money in, leaving it there, and 5 years later watching it grow, just doesn't happen anymore. I'm going to give you an example of GEVO, G-E-V-O. Big bad fucking Bill Gates comes out and backs GEVO. GEVO starts goes from a penny stock up to $10, $15, whatever it was. I think it was $24. Comes all the way back down to 50 cents. Goes back to $14, and now here it is, trading between $1 and $2. Come on, man. This is an alternative oil fuel rather, that actually works. It's kind of crazy. I went down the rabbit hole of GEVO and was fairly impressed with the functionality of their product. It was eye-opening, to say the least. Why is their stock in the tank? And if it didn't work and it was shit, why are they still in business? You can't sit here and tell me when nothing in the company changes that you should see such huge freaking moves of $24 down to $1, $14 down to $1. This is just insanity. The market has been corrupted and basically raped by these criminals who refuse to play the game without cheating. If you're going to cheat, get your ass off the court. That's it, man. There's no cheating. There's no cheating in fucking baseball. They'll kick your ass out. Okay? Absolutely ridiculous that we have to deal with this. Let me see if I had anything else on the board today. Register your shares with NextBridge, and if you have them in multiple brokerages, like I said earlier, Do it account A, number of shares, brokerage. Account B, number of shares, brokerage. 2 different registrations. They're going to count all this up, and it's going to be well over the authorized 165, and we're going to find out. And I think that's probably why they're going to the big whales first, because the less people that know about it, the less chance it is to make bigger news. I think we got him on this one. I really do. I believe it. I believe it in my heart. I believe it for you guys. I believe it for my kid. Let's frickin' not forget. They've stolen from your parents. They've stolen from you. Let's not let them steal from our own frickin' children. Stop this nonsense once and for all. And let's move to a free and fair market. You guys keep your heads up. I will come back tomorrow. If there's anything new, might just come back and chat, give you guys my thoughts on whatever's going on for the day. That's it for me. And anybody talks to you about it, you can tell them that frickin' Pinstripe Press said, you can't handle the truth. Have a good night, everybody.